pose. What was that, boo?
You know, I'm extremely proud to be the Black trans woman that I am. However, sometimes I think as individuals in general, sometimes we really do put our identity behind a specific label, and we walk into the world with always that first. And before I was a trans woman, I'm Black. And that for me is powerful within itself. And I am a human being, period. So I like to connect with people on a human basis. I understand when you do see this Black trans goddess. However, I mean, at the end of the day, we all share the same struggles and journey, and you know, different, however it's scripted, it's kind of like all similar with our trauma, with our dreams, with our vision. So sometimes I just feel like sometimes we can really just hide behind the identity or the label of who we are. And I just hope that anyone watching this or hearing this can just take all of that out of it and just like listen to the human connection and what really resonates and connects us all.
Yes, I love that. It's like a gift, right? And then first label is the ribbon, and then we open the box and the wrapping paper. That's another level, but underneath we still always have the gifts inside the box, and that's what we need to focus on most of all. Great. I can't wait to have this conversation with you. All right, let's get official. Hold on, let's get official. Welcome back to another episode of Manifest It, Sis. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today, I'm so excited. I have an interview that is a long time coming. I'm talking like a decade, y'all. And I am here with the Miss Gracie Cartier. And let me just read her bio right quick so that y'all can be so impressed. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Gracie Cartier was born in Philadelphia and grew up in the ballroom community. She is a proud Black trans woman with a passion for beauty. At the age of 14, she started doing hair in her mother's dining room. Later, she trained at the Avita Institute of New York and Atlanta and assisted Ted Gibson. Yes, the Ted Gibson, y'all. Shortly after that, she rose to prominence as a celebrity hairstylist in film and TV for clients like, are you ready to gag? Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith, Garcelle Bouvet, Tia and Tamara Mowry, Alicia Silverstone, and many others, while earning a daytime Emmy Award nomination for hairstyling on The Real. After 27 years of service and 11 years in the industry, she has retired from the craft, going from behind the camera to in front of it. Embracing her art, now Gracie is an actress, spiritualist, healer, and model, walking the runway of Marco Marco, gracing the covers of Gay Times, Hardy, and The Fight. She's the host of LA's first inclusive cabaret show, Girls Like Us, in films such as Disciples, Savage, and the Pantheon of Queer Mythology, which was an official selection of the 2020 Tribeca Film Festival. Gracie is known as Madame Juge and is an active LGBTQIA+ advocate. She is a proud glamour who loves her family and enjoys traveling. Let's welcome to the stage, okay, the podcast, Gracie Cartier. Hi.
Yay! Hey, Dani, thank you so much for having me here on Manifest It, Sis. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. You're my fanciest guest to date. Oh, thank you so much for being here. You guys, listen, girls, let me just tell you, I met Gracie pre-transition about a decade ago. I was a model on a hair shoot and she was the artist. And I still, and I'm not saying this just because she's on the show, I still talk about how straight my hair was. I got the best blowout, the best. Those Dominicans have nothing on Gracie, okay? And you know those Dominicans get it straight. But anyway, so we stayed in touch digitally after that and just kind of followed each other on social and kept in touch. And I watched her growth and her transformation and her spiritual enhancement. I was just like, this woman is dope. So I had to have her on to talk to you guys today about authenticity, living your best life, manifesting, all the things. Let's see where the conversation goes. So
I'm so excited. I'm just grateful, and I'll never forget meeting you in that apartment in New York City on the Upper West Side. It was, right?
Yeah.
The Upper West Side, and you just have the most gorgeous hair. It was a delight. just working with you and just hanging out with you. And I still too have those pictures and those memories that I keep close in my heart. But I too just following you, watching your journey, watching all that you have accomplished and all that you do and all that you put out into the world. And just that most gorgeous, beautiful family that you have is just such a true inspiration to me.
Thank you, boo. I appreciate it. Okay, Love Fest over. It's time to get to work. Now, what does manifesting mean to you? This is the first question I like to ask everybody. What does manifesting mean to you?
Manifesting to me means calling forth all of your heart's desires. You know, those little small whispers that sometimes we may have buried deep down inside of us because of what society, because of the world, because of our own inner saboteur that tells us that it's not possible. And even as large or small or grand or just minute that it may be, just really calling that forth and allowing that to show up into your reality.
Yes, I love it. Allowing is a very good word. Allowing it to show up instead of like pushing, hustle, grind, push, force. Yeah.
And I say allowing because that's the space that I'm in right now. And I realize I'm very grateful that a lot of the things that and a lot of the dreams and visions that I've had, some have come to pass and some I'm still working on, and it'll continue on. But for me, I say allowing because I am very well aware of how much forcing, how much controlling, how much, manipulating, I will even say, how much I always just felt as if like I just had to have all of my hands in it. And for me, manifesting it is that, but it is also allowing the divine, the universe, God, spirit, whatever it is you want to call it. It is also allowing that presence to come in and assist you. So that's why I say allowing, because I'm really working on that right now. And I've become aware of the roadblocks and the suffering that I caused myself in the process of my manifesting.
That's beautiful. And that's major growth. That's a roadblock that a lot of people take a while to get to. Are there any things that you're doing actively to keep that transition going in your mind? Like, no, don't force, just allow. Don't force, just allow.
I am. Not only, and I realize the more that I create boundaries with others, it allows me to strengthen the boundaries that I have with myself. The more I begin to trust myself, the more I begin to trust others or not trust others. So it is. I'm like, just being very conscious of my thoughts, my behaviors, my feelings. And as you said, when we sat down on Trinity, it does have a lot to do with your belief system, because you can always have these dreams and these visions and these desires, but if there is a deep rooted belief that you don't deserve or you don't believe that it's not going to happen, it's never really going to happen for you. And if it do, it's not going to be something that really holds and sticks and stays true. It's going to slip right through your hands because your own belief system kind of like made sabotage it in a way.
Yeah,
So I'm just trying to be very conscious of that, and really checking myself, like really checking myself
before you wreck yourself. That's right. Y'all, are you hearing her? Because look, she touched on boundaries. I'm gonna try that again. She touched on trust and also discernment. So who not to trust is discernment. And we need that as well when it comes to our manifesting our best lives and who we're going to allow in it. And also that policing of thoughts. That is really crucial. And you can keep like policing those thoughts until you rewire a whole new belief. So get centered with yourself and start being conscious. Sounds like it's going to be a masterclass, y'all. I hope you are taking notes.
Oh my gosh. I'm and I love that you said that, because sometimes we get so excited about what it is that we're working on, and sometimes we just get that urge to want to share. And I used to always want to share, and I used to always just want to like include people, and just because that's just how my heart is set up. But I really had to learn that not everyone is like you, and then not even to say that not even to say that a lot of people have ill intentions when, you know, adding input or saying anything in regards to what it is that you're trying to manifest. It's just that sometimes people see you and they see it from their own vision, their peripheral, their thoughts, their own little ideas of how they see you. And that's why I said at the end of the day, it is a small whisper within yourself. Sometimes we are not even really clear on what it is that we want to manifest, because it takes a moment to like really honor and really own and accept the fact that, yes, this is what I really want. So sometimes everyone else projects their own little, even though it's yours, they'll have like a little bit of what they kind of want in it. And it's like, it just makes it really messy. So I have really gotten to a point that I really do not share a lot at all. I do not. I working in the industry and just seeing how sometimes you can get so excited about something and it falls through the cracks. So I just got tired of setting myself up for disappointment. I got tired of always getting, wanting to tell my girlfriends the tea, oh, this cute guy that I just met and I think it's blah, blah, blah. And then a week later it falls to this. And then you just kind of like realize that you just do that a lot when it comes to projects, people, places, and things. So I've just gotten to a point that when I really see the tangible result of the manifested, whatever it is that I'm manifesting, and then it has really fully shown up, then I can like really get excited about it. And also, I'm also being honest with myself that a lot of times it comes from me wanting others to validate or wanting others to show how proud and how excited they are about whatever it is, or just proof that, look, y'all, I did it. And me understanding, having that conversation with the little kid in me, that it's like taking that time for myself. Like when things do happen, a lot of the times I won't share it until I have already had my own private moment with it. So when the world is seeing, I had already had a chance to process and digest that, because before it came out of place of wanting everyone to validate me, wanting everyone to see me, wanting me to prove myself and show off and just let everyone know all the fabulous, fancy things that I'm doing. And now it's like, I really get to do it because I get to celebrate it for myself first and foremost before sharing it.
I love all of that. And there's a space that you come to where you recognize, like, I don't need to share this with the world and broadcast it for it to be any realer or any grander or any more amazing. Like, it's great for me. And then whoever finds out, whether they're for or against what I'm doing, So there's a place that you just kind of recognize, like, oh, I'm whole. I don't need your kudos in order to bolster me with regard to whatever it is that I'm manifesting. And that's an important space to be in. Look at your growth.
It's like that really means a lot. And I don't take it. Whenever people that, my fellow sisters like you, anyone that has known me pre-transition, I always tell them this. I always said that it really means a lot to me. And that doesn't come from a place of, that doesn't come from a place of vow, but it really means a lot to me for you to say that and to talk about growth, because you are someone who has known me throughout this entire journey. Like, you've known the person that I was before. So it really means a lot to me when you say that.
I appreciate you saying that. Shoot. So can we talk a little bit about that transition? That I admire it. I admire that people are finally like, yo, this is what I am, and I'm going to do what's best for me, who I truly am. And that's it. The pushback I see, this weird dichotomy that we're seeing in media, I'm like, I don't even get it, but I'm sure it stems from fear of the unknown and just fear in general, and maybe inbred hatred. I'm not sure. But what I know is that it takes a certain type of courage to not stay in a closet, whatever type of closet it is, and
I'm so happy you say that, because, people always think closets are for like the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
And it's like, we are all living in a closet. We are all living in some sort of fear of allowing our true, authentic self to fully come through. And it's not just about coming out as gay, trans, bi. It's about really coming into the fullness of who you are as an individual and how you want to show up into the world. And I love, and that's the thing when it comes, like, I am so, like I said, I'm grateful. I love being the trans woman that I am. I own it. I'm not denying it. I'm not trying to like compartmentalize it, but it's just like, I'm a human being that likes to connect with other human beings. However, whatever form you like to show up as, like show up as that. And just let's like really connect and bond on a level outside of
A
all
label.
of that. A label.
Yes, I'm with you. So I had to come out of my woo-woo closet. I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to judge me. They're going to call me a heathen. I am. They're going to say I'm going to hell. I don't believe in it. But I had to really decide, like, am I going to come out with this? And I know it's different. That was not a transition I had to make. It was just a decision I had to make to say, I'm going to just be my authentic self. And for everyone who's listening to this, I hope that you're listening to this with like wide open ears and a very broad vision, because I know that whether it's now or in the past or in the future, you might be in a closet or having to come out of one. And I want you to sit with yourself and recognize, like, okay, am I showing my 100% me? And if not, why not? Am I code switching? Am I straightening my hair when I want to wear my afro? Am I don't know, pick something, girl, but you know what I'm saying. So take a moment to digest this, because this is a broader conversation than the LGBTQ community. This is a broader conversation than all of you manifested cis sisters. So just food for thought, sit with it a bit. So let's talk about that authenticity. I make the transition, I make the decision for all of y'all listening who just have to make a decision similar to my situation. What comes with that?
A lot of things come with that. The thing about it is like the reason why sometimes we get a lot of pushback is because that same person that is like giving you some sort of pushback is because it is making them take a look in the mirror at their own pushback, at their own way of them not fully showing up, and them not wanting to be their full self. So it's like a mirror in the face. It's like, okay, are you going to grow? Are you going to like step into the fullness who you are? Or are you going to, which 8 times out of 10, majority of the people do, because they choose to like, no, I don't want to be seen. I'm comfortable where I am. So I want you to be comfortable with me. And because I see that you're not choosing to be comfortable and you're choosing to walk into your courage, now I want to give you shit for it.
I hear you. It's like, how dare you live an authentic life and stand in your truth when I'm here not feeling comfortable doing so? How dare you?
I love that you said, how dare you? Because when it came to my transition, a lot of people was like, how was the transition? How was the And I said, for the most part, once I got over my own years of allowing everyone's opinion, voice, say so, idea of who I was, once I finally let go of that and decided to walk in my truth, that's when I realized that it was really then always more, for the most part, about the external. Like, yeah, it was my own fear. Yeah, it was my own suffering, which I take responsibility and accountability for. But you then see how it's like you said, and that's the term that I always use. How dare you be your true self? How dare you just be so free? How dare you just really walk in the world and like not care what other people think? And I say that because it's like, when I transitioned, I was a full on, like, I'm very proud of who I was pre-transition. I was a very attractive man, very like
was definitely
like nice body, like
built,
very well built, full on beard. And when I transitioned, I mean, the way that I look now, the way it was a total, but I was so, and it's crazy because now I see myself and there's certain things that I would not dare walk out the house looking or doing. But at that particular time, I was just so happy to finally be walking in my truth that it really didn't even matter. And you would just see the disgust in people, like even still to today. Like I know that I'm a very attractive woman and got my shit together, but it still doesn't mean that society doesn't see me as what they see me as, and that's a trans. And if they term to use the term, which not sometimes I will get a rude comment of that's a man and that's a dude or that's a nigga, or like I know what that is. So it's like, at the end of the day, even when you do finally come out into the butterfly that you want to be, people always they're still going to like find a reason to try to knock down you being your authentic self. So that's why I just realized that it's like, you really just need to just do what you need to do anyway. Because it's like, it's not going to stop. Yes, you do. You gain more freedom and more power within yourself when you do it. But it doesn't mean that it's like, it's not going to stop the way how the world still looks at you. Like, how dare you be that free? That still continues and goes on, but it still allows you to just continue to build that muscle of like really being more comfortable and more authentic within yourself.
Absolutely. I think the not give a fuck muscle grows the more you get those types of comment, and the more years you are more resolute in standing in whatever your authentic truth is. My blog has been up since 2009. I consistently, it's a lot less now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a lot of comments about, oh, you're the white man's bed wench. Oh, you know, you're supposed to move forward the diaspora. What are you doing with this? Why? And she's like, really? First of all, congratulations, you've shared your opinion. Like, if you're walking down the street and someone's like, oh, that's great, congrats. Okay, you know, what's your point and what do you gain from this? So my lesson in seeing that this is continuing over a decade of, you know, getting these type of weird emails or comments is, no matter what I do, people are going to talk. If I do good, people are going to talk. If I hide, people are going to talk. If I come out, people are going to talk. So just let them talk, and might as well do you, since they're going to talk.
Let them. You might as well let them talk while you know that you're being your fullest authentic self.
There it is.
I'd rather you talk about me being the fullest expression of who I am, opposed to talking about me and me like hiding and me not being who I am. So
might as well be happy while they're talking. Okay. So
fabulous.
And fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Okay, so another brave thing that you did, I feel this is very brave, is leaving West Philadelphia, born and raised, to go to LA.
You know, and that was a journey.
Did you have it in your mind, like, I'm going to LA, I'm gonna be hairstylist to the stars and I'm gonna make it? Was that in your mind?
You know, I always had the dream and the vision of being a celebrity hairstylist. I always remember that dream. I always remember telling my mom, and my mom was like, and guess what? And that's exactly what you're going to do. Los Angeles wasn't really always tied to that. I mean, I know that it's like, well, this is where for the majority, this is where where all the celebrities are. But I still never really specifically said Los Angeles. I just always was like, I just want to do celebrities here. I want to do celebrities here. And after a while, then that's when like Hollywood started like coming up into like my consciousness, because in the neighborhood growing up, they called me Hollywood anyway. Like, in high school, like growing up, everyone was like, you so Hollywood, you so Hollywood, you so fly, you Hollywood, you Hollywood. And then when I moved, I was afraid to always just immediately make the jump. Like, and a lot of my, and that's the thing, like the fear is going to always be there. And in the process of making all of these, as people say, these courageous moves, like it was always like a step-by-step process, because there are many times where I was afraid to just go for it. I was afraid to just go from North Philadelphia to LA. So throughout the journey, I broke it down. So I was like, okay, I moved to New York. It led me to New York. I was in New York. I love New York. I miss New York so much that it's just nothing like the energy of New York. It really isn't. And then, life happens, break up, I was done with school, was just kind of like get my feet wet in the industry. And it just kind of like, it got a little too busy for me. And I just like needed to take a breather. Some things in family was happening. So I knew I wanted to move. At that time, I knew I wanted to move to LA, but I was really afraid of just making that jump. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to Atlanta and see how Atlanta is. So I moved to Atlanta, went to Atlanta for a year. And I realized I had to go back to hair school because the hours were different. So that was like a little setback. And then I was there, and then I was realizing, I was like, you know what? I love Atlanta. I love coming from Philly and coming from like, the hood and coming from like hard times, to see Black people live and do well and be successful and have nice homes and have nice cars, and they're not like doing anything illegal. That was very inspiring to me. But coming from New York, I realized that it was like, oh, so I kind of got used to like diversity. I kind of got used to like individuality. I kind of got used to like the hurdles, the ups and downs. And, you know, not to take anything away from Atlanta, but me, I kind of like a little more of a challenge. Like anytime I feel like I'm just always comfortable, I just feel like it doesn't really give me the opportunity to grow and to expand. So again, another breakup because I left New York, went right into a relationship, and that didn't
Girl.
work. And that didn't work. You know, now looking back at it, you realize like how I was always trying to like satisfy myself with things outside of myself, people, places, and things outside of myself. So I was like, you know what? I was working with Lorianne Gibson at the time. I was having a breakup, and she lived in LA, and she was like, you know, you should come to LA. You know, we'll be working. I got some things. She was working with Gaga at the time, and she was like, so I was like so afraid, but it was like, I'm just gonna do it. My relationship is ending. We're moving out the apartment. Like, what else do I got to lose? And I just like shipped all my things to LA. I went to Toronto to do a job with her and Lady Gaga at the time. And straight from Toronto, I moved to LA in June of 2011, June 21st. I'll never forget it. And it's been a wrap. And I honestly hit the ground running when I came to LA. Like I was working with Lorianne, and like she kept me busy. And then kind of like I came in July, around October was the first time that I experienced what they call like the waves in LA. That was the first time I experienced a wave in my career to where the things had like shut down, and I had to like kind of like figure it out, start all over again. And then thankfully that's when I was connected with Tia Mowry, and she was working on their reality show at the time, and things just took off from there. And that's when my career like really started.
That
But Hollywood was always, because when I lived in New York, I used to dance at a gentleman's club to like pay my way through hair school, and my stage name was Hollywood. So it was destined, darling.
Yeah,
It was
wait, hold
destined.
on, because you said a whole lot, and I gotta go all the way back. First of all, people were speaking your growth into you from calling you Hollywood when you were young. So like the seeds were planted, bitch. I mean, from young.
They were.
And okay, guys, I don't know if you heard, like I said earlier, this is going to be a masterclass. And if you have your listening ears on, this totally is. Do you not hear what this woman is saying? You feel the fear and you do the shit anyway, even if you need to take baby steps. That's not a failure. Okay. So whatever it is that you feel is this big goal that's so huge, I want you to break that shit down and look at what the next logical little step you can take in the direction of your dreams is. Okay. Because you're going to go from fear to Emmy nomination. Like that is gonna feel like, okay? So for real though, take a look at what you're trying to accomplish and manifest, and break it down into smaller goals if it feels too overwhelming, because there's nothing that is too much for you. If you have the dream in your heart, then it is for you, period. How it's gonna look might be different.
I love that you said that, because for me, I get easily overwhelmed. I really do. I've taken I've taken accountability for the fact that it's easy for me to get overwhelmed with a lot of information, with a lot of like, you know, when people start like, okay, well, you think about the move, and then you start thinking about all these different things that you have to do, and then the next thing you know, you overwhelmed to the next thing you know, you don't push it all. So it's like, I really do encourage you to like take baby steps, and it's okay to be overwhelmed, but just take baby steps, because each step really does lead you to the next step that will lead you to like the big picture.
You know, it does take a bit of mindfulness for you to recognize that you're overwhelmed in the first place. So it's like, kudos to you for recognizing that, because some people, they'll feel overwhelmed, not know what it is, and then they'll lash out at a partner, or be short with their children, or get acne, or an ulcer, or whatever, and not know.
Like yesterday, and I want to put, because I mean, even though I know you probably didn't think that, but I realized I was a little overwhelmed just coming back in from my mini vacay, and like not really fully being rested, and knowing how much, like I said, my work week, and then like partying with my community, and like it was a lot. So it was just like yesterday, I knew that I just like needed a moment, and I know that like a lot of my responses when it came to my emails was not like how it normally is. I was a bit, because I had like ran out. So it's like you said, be conscious, be mindful, and do, because it's like, it is easy for us to take that out onto others when it's not their stuff.
What do you do when you recognize that, okay, I need to take 5 because I am to my limit? What's your go-to? What do you do?
I immediately shut down. If I have to communicate with someone that I need a moment, I always say I need a moment. And I think that people that know me now, I think people that know me well enough, they know when if I can just say I need a moment, even though it can just be so simple, they know how powerful that I need a moment is, because it takes a lot. When I do finally voice it, it's taking a lot for me to express when something has become a lot, or when I can't do something, or when I cannot follow through. So when I say I need a moment, they know that it's like, ooh, okay, let me let
Like,
her
bye.
let me let her be, because and when I do take a moment, it's just like, it's just really just sitting with myself and like going into my meditation. And I'm obsessed with sound frequency. I have been listening to sound frequency for the past, I would say 2 to 3 years now, and 2 years fully committed, to the point that when Spotify or Pandora, when they say your most listened to, for 2 years in a row, it has been sound frequency. Like, and as
I
much as
love
I'm a
them
music,
too.
as much as I love music, it's like, for me, every night I sleep with my sound frequency
Me
on.
too.
Yes, when I wake up in the daytime, it's still playing. My TV doesn't really come on until like later on in the afternoons, when I turn into like a Bravo whore, and watch all my watch all my Real Housewives. But other than that, my sound frequency is always on, because it just keeps me grounded. And just with so much that's happening in the world, just everyone has a voice, everyone has an opinion, everyone has 2 cents, and it's just so easily to kind of like allow your own voice to get drowned out by the noise. So when I say I just need a moment, it's just like, I really need to like check in with myself, to like hear myself and process and journal and dance and twirl around in my house booty butt
Yes.
naked, and run my bath, and like have a bubble bath, and just cook me a nice meal, and eat my favorite snacks, and watch a movie. Like, just really like disconnect in a healthy way. I used to think that it was something wrong with me because I did that. You
What?
know, I really did. And I
Wow.
used to also think that it was something wrong with my mom. Like, I used to always get on my mom, like, why are you always like by yourself? And why are you always like just in your room? And I thought it was like some sort of depression and some sort of her being lonely. Not to say that we don't have our depressive, lonely, I don't have depressive little lonely moments. But for the most part, she would always tell me, she would be like, I value my peace. And I now understand it. You know how much, like, when it comes to my community, how much I'm like twirling, and how much I'm like in the nightlife community. So it's like, I'm the biggest social butterfly. I love people, but it's like, I've also come to realize that I'm a popular loner. I like to be alone, and I like to be with myself, and I like to like be with my thoughts. And it's nothing wrong with me for wanting to do that. I've learned that. I've now realized that. Oh, so I was doing self-care before self-care was this big
Became a
old
thing.
brand, a
Yeah.
big thing.
And shout out to your mom for doing it before it became a thing, because it's like
Exactly.
a mini pandemic amongst moms and grandmothers, those generations where they did not self-care. What? Take a break, who? Sit down, where? It just wasn't a thing. So shout out to your mom for being able to recognize that she needed her self-care well before.
Yeah.
Well before. Yeah. Okay, so you're giving a little bit of your when you're overwhelmed, but do you have like a daily practice that you follow? You say you're a spiritualist and a healer. What's your spiritualist routine day to day?
So I wake up, I go straight to my journal. Depends. Sometimes it depends on, like, if my dreams were very intense, to where as though, um, however intense they were, or however much it was, like, I felt like I need to write it down because I may forget. Sometimes they're so like strong that I can like, I know what it is. So I'll allow myself that time to meditate and like, go within. But if I really feel like I need to like go to it, I can either just go straight to the pen and like start writing my dreams out and just writing out my thoughts, and then I'll meditate, or I'll meditate first and then journal. And then once I do that, I'll still just kind of like sit in the bed. I always do my meditation laying down, unless it's like meditation within the day and I'm like out and about and I'll have a seat. But for the most part, when I wake up, I'm always laying down meditating. And depending on what state I'm in a particular time, if I'm like got a lot going on and kind of like high anxiety, then I'll own the fact that sometimes I will just wake up and go straight to the phone. But for the most part, in my like present you know, calm, relaxed moments, I always start my day with meditation and with journaling and with the prayer. I do my own prayer, and then I also look at Michael Beckwith's prayer, his daily prayer, or I'll go to Devon Franklin's prayer. Like I kind of like to just incorporate a lot of different things. And lately I've been realizing that I feel that my father's energy has his energy has been very like present and like very like loud in my life lately, because lately I'll do my own prayers, but then I also have been like praying to Allah as well. And that's why I say I think that when I talk about spiritualist is, for me, it is incorporating all of these different practices that I've had growing up in my life and incorporating it all into my own, what works for me. And I think that sometimes that's why we get spirituality so everyone, because everyone is trying to tell everyone how their spirituality should be.
Yeah.
And it's not about that. It's about what works for you. And because my mother was Christian and because my father was Muslim, and of course, and because my past life I was the reincarnation of my father, and now in my present life I'm the reincarnation of my mother. The fact that I honor both sides of my parents, the fact that I honor both sides of my masculine and my feminine, who I was, who I am now, I've learned what makes me feel whole. And me feeling whole is the same way how my father was. Although he was Muslim, he always still spoke of God. He always still spoke of the power of God. So it's like I love the fact that I celebrate and honor and mix and make that into my own special concoction of spirituality.
I love that. First of all, how blessed are you that you got both of those different sides? And I feel like you have the Muslim side, you have the Christianity side, but then you also have this other side that's just like, yo, it's me and the divine. You have this, your
Exactly.
intuition. Yeah. And I just love that
Exactly.
you've got that going on. And you said special concoction. I feel like that's me. And I just pull from what I learned here and there and mix it to what feels right for me. And I feel like everyone should have the opportunity to do that. And I wish more people, especially more women, had the opportunity to do that versus just one way, one path that they were given as a child and just run with it. It's like there's so much out there and so many ways that you might feel more whole, more connected, more aligned. And I just love that you have figured that out
I
for
love
you.
I, I love that you also said, like you said, the mother, the father, but then like that within yourself, because yes, I have received a lot from them, but it was a lot that they could not teach me because they didn't have their own healing and understanding within their self. So it's like, then that is me that understands like what it is that Gracie really needs for Gracie to feel my most divine, feminine, authentic self. And even though I know this is a bit off subject, like I said, I'm just grateful for you to have me on this platform of Manifested Sis and honoring and celebrating the woman, this special, unique woman that I am. And I know that a lot of times that when it comes to trans woman and cis woman, there can be a divide, but I'm very grateful that I have always had powerful women like you in my life who have honored and who have celebrated me. And it is because of me being inspired by you. Like I will never ever be one of those trans women who act as if like, oh, I'm just this fierce fabulous trans woman and like I always tip my crown and I always bow down to women, because it is because of women, my mother, the women that I grew up with, the women that I was on the streets that I grew up on the block with, the women that I did hair with, that inspires the woman in me and that has made me want to be my divine, most feminine, authentic self. So I just say all praise to all you queens out there, and to whoever do not have that understanding of feeling as if you see me as whatever you see me as. I just want you to know I see you as the divine queen that you are. And I'm just grateful to be within this community and celebration of badass women.
I love that. That is a beautiful place to end. And you're much kinder than I would be, because to those other women who can't see you for what you are, I just say kick rocks to those broads. But I love that you come from a more loving space.
Well, they had problem with other women, so why won't they have a
That's
problem with?
true. It's only because
It's
they have
like
a problem with themselves. They have to heal their mother wounds, have to heal their
bad
sister
bitches.
wounds.
Bad bitches love other bad bitches, honey.
There it
Period.
is. There it is. There it is. And you know what? They're on their growth path. I'll still say kick rocks to them until they can start their growth and learn to love.
Of course.
But you're nicer than I am. All right. So, I mean, that's it. I feel like that's a good place to wrap up.
Really? I want to keep talking.
Let's do it then. Shit. Okay. So you say you're a healer. Talk to us about that.
Well, I can only speak for myself.
Yes.
I feel that with me healing myself and a lot of my trauma and a lot of my stuff, that it has the power to translate into the people that are in my life, the people that see me, follow me, know me, understand me. They tell me how I had to help them. My situation has made them want to step into the fullness of who they are, whether it's trans, whether it's just, being their authentic self. Because a lot of men tell me that also, like, they tell me how it makes them want to be more open and loving and accepting of people from the community. So when I say that because of all of the work and the healing that I'm continuously do on myself, it ripples out into the world. So I no longer like pretend as if like the hard work that I do doesn't affect or benefit or is a vessel for other people. So that's why I say,
that is,
and we all
I got
are.
goosebumps. Yes, but you are so in tune with it. You are like the campfire, and everyone's kind of lighting their lanterns off of you, and now they can go and light the path for somebody else who might be walking around with like a candle.
I love that you said campfire, because it's very something as I was in Palm Springs this weekend, like me sitting like close to that fire and was like, watch out, you want to get burnt. I'm like, honey, I am a triple sage. Like this fire, like that fire does something to me. So I love that you said yes, we are one.
That's what you are. You're intuitive, right? That's not a secret. Okay.
So it took me a long time to accept that and own that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Was it because of the religious undertones in your upbringing that kind of kept you away from it?
Religious undertones and upbringing. Because people always told you, oh, you crazy. I knew at 5 years old that I was a woman, and that I looked at men the way how other women look at men, like wanting to feel protected and nurtured, and that whole family, like I knew that things were going on that were not supposed to be going on. And every time I would say something, I was silenced and I was made to feel crazy, like my inner gut. So it's like, it's taken me a long time and even still now I struggle a bit with trusting myself and trusting what I know, because like you said, sometimes I can be very kind, and I can always want to see the best in people. Yeah. And sometimes people will show me something different, but I'm just like, no, that's just, and the universe is like, bitch, how many times is it going to take for you to realize that you know what you know, and you feel what you feel when it comes to this particular person or situation or place. So it's like, I'm really honing in the intuitive gifts and trusting my intuition.
You said it from the very beginning, Gracie. You said the whispers. I forget what the first question I asked you was, but you said something about the whispers. And when you said that, I was like, that's her God voice. She's intuitive. The whispers are how you know this is the truth. So don't let the logic come out and fuck up what you really know.
I know. And that it be that logic, because sometimes it'll be like, even something that just seems so right, and it just seems so like perfectly packaged, I just would be like, I'm not feeling it. And that's what it means to be authentic, to know that regardless of how it looks or how it can be beneficial, like, is it still really in your best authentic interest? Like, what represents who you are, what represents how you operate, the place of integrity that you believe in.
Good word, integrity. There's a whole, I feel like there's a sliding away from integrity right now in the world at large. How do you hold on to that as you go through your life? Or is it just natural?
I will say, and I'm glad you said that, it's natural, because my mom, my grandma, my great grandma, my auntie, my Aunt Benita, God rest all of their souls, they were so, you know how women are labeled difficult and hard and like
difficult? Yeah.
They were always labeled that. And I think because of me seeing how they were always labeled that, I really tried so hard to not be that. And now the more I lean into that, the more I'm realizing like, yes, you come from that tribe, so you are a part of that. So you are just like them. Like my mother always said, God rest her soul, honey, I may be sweet as pie, but I am not a nut, nor did I raise any nuts. And I realized that like, you be knowing. So I come from that, but also realizing that, yeah, gaining that reputation of like, she's a tough cookie. It becomes because it's like, I operate out of integrity. I operate out of my boundaries. I operate of not like what works for you, but how does this work? How does this sit well with my spirit? And I'm not good at faking. Like I don't do well. And, living in Hollywood, I never in a million years would have thought that I would be here really living the fullest expression of myself in terms to transitioning, in terms to being the realist that I am. And that's why I'm glad, because it has forced me to stay true to that. It really has. And it's like, it's easy to succumb to the path of what everyone else says, what everyone else is doing, how everyone else, and it can be a little lonely over here, which sometimes it is. It can be a bit quiet because my views, my level, me standing in my integrity, like it's the opposing position of what everyone else is doing. But I've learned to embrace that. And that's when it really lets me know that I'm on the right path. When I'm kind of like doing everything that everyone else is saying and everyone else is doing, that's when I know I'm like not really following my own voice.
Reevaluate. Yeah. But what's good about that is that you become a beacon. Like you are the campfire example. You're the campfire. Other people who are like, this is raggedy, this is not for me, where can I go? They'll see your light, and then you attract people who are decent and full of integrity, and you have your chosen family and friends that are about it too.
It's funny you say that, because I think of like the parties. Like when I'm out in the parties, the moment I come in the party, if people, they know Grace is here, the party's on. The moment they know that I leave the party, it's like
where we going next?
Like, it's like it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So I'm very grateful for that, and I don't take it lightly. I used to get so, when you say that word beacon, it used to be like, before, it used to be like, ooh, like I don't want to be that.
That's a huge responsibility. You need to own it.
That's a huge responsibility. I really have, and it has really gotten me closer to my purpose. Got me in alignment with my purpose.
You've gone so far. Okay, your whole life is in this. You got a lot of way to go. You got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of lives to change. Your beacon light is only going to get bigger and brighter, for real. And I know you know it. I know you have that seed. You know it. Or else, I'm preaching to the choir. But listen, if you guys are only listening to this on the podcast, I want you to go to youtube.com/Dani Faust and click on it, because you need to see all the glamour that Gracie is bringing. I'm here in gym clothes, okay? And she's here like she's ready to hit the town. She looks like the party is starting wherever she is. So you will feel it. As soon as you see her, you'll feel her energy too. So, well, I'm sure you're ready to feel her energy.
I love, and that's the thing. I love to show up, and I do this for me. This is when you ask me I enjoy getting myself dialed. Like that's my me time. I enjoy getting myself dialed up. And I transitioned at 37, and I was all fashion and style is something that has always been in me. So it's like it has only elevated into the sense that now I get to do it as the person that I always wanted to do it. And so it's like it brings me joy to like pull up, judge myself, and because I can't judge no one else if I'm not judged. I can't give anything if I'm not giving. So it's like I enjoy it. I do.
I just had the image of you like this fancy car door opening and one of your long legs just coming out, and I'm like, yes, I'm here. Yes.
And it takes people like you to like hold the vision that like when we talk about manifesting, like you want to surround yourself with people who see you as the way that you see yourself. Not like how they see you, but how you see yourself. So it's good to be connected and surrounded by people who's like, yep, I see that for you too. That's what you see. Okay, I got you, sis. I'm a whole space for you. And the people that really care about you, you don't even have to tell them what you're working on or what you're manifesting. They know that you're doing something in their whole space for whatever it is.
It's funny because one of the questions I wrap up with is, okay, so what's next for you? But I'm not even going to ask you that because I know it's something big. I know it's something amazing.
I'm really excited for I'm really excited for what's to come, because it's something that I've been like working on, wanting them. And when we talk about manifesting, sometimes, and that throughout their process, like things don't move on your time. They don't go on like and according to how you think it's going to go. The plan doesn't. You can have a well thought out plan. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to always be executed like that. So what's been going on is it's been good because it has allowed me it has allowed me to let life surprise me. And that's why I said, when like control, manipulate, like everything. Sometimes you wonder like why it doesn't really feel so good, because you realize it was like I was really forcing all of that, and you never really got a chance to see the divine. You never really got a chance to see the universe or God show up for you to where as though you know it had nothing to do with you. So I'm just so excited that I've come to like see that, but just something that I've been working so hard on and I always wanted to do, and that I always, those fears of it's not going to happen, and like to see that it's like it's in forward motion. I'm so happy. And because it's taken me so long, like I love my hair journey. I do. It has gotten me to where I am, but it's like I just didn't see. I knew as a kid I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a woman. That's what I did. Like hair came because of my mom's like addiction and hard times, in our family. And I was very good at hair, and I just like started doing it, and money came quick and money came easy. So all my dreams like got based off of that. And with the whispers as a child that I had just kind of like got pushed to the wayside. So it's like, and even now it's like when people talk about the bio, sometimes it's triggering, because it's like, I want people to see me as the woman that I am now, the actress that I am now, like the things that I'm doing now. So I feel like now the work that I've been doing, it really reflects who I am. So I'm happy to share that soon.
I'm gonna just say, hold on. I'm gonna read her new bio, y'all. Hi guys. So today on the show we have Gracie Cartier. She is a LA-based actress, former Emmy nominated hairstylist. She's currently an actress, a model. You can see her on runways, the TV screen, and the big screen. Thank you for being with us, Gracie Cartier. Hi.
And thank you for helping me manifest it, sis.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
Thank
are there
you.
any last words you want to leave with the audience? Any nugget you want them to take away from this? I don't know. I mean, you gave them a lot of nuggets, but
just shine your light, and whatever, like we said, whatever it is for you, that whatever that thing is, that's where you see yourself being in the closet, just embrace it. Just embrace it. Just walk into it and just realize that that whisper that's been on your heart for so long. So just walk into that, and it doesn't have to make sense to not another damn soul. As long as it makes sense to you, walk in that.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you,
time,
Dani.
for being here.
I really enjoyed this.
Oh my, me too.
Thank you.
I feel like I want to keep talking, but it's been like an hour, so I'm like, let me stop being rude. But,
inspired. Okay. The time went by so quick. I loved it.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Madame Zhuzh on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, but I am an Instagram girl. You can find me on Transcend with Plus Life, Transcend Plus Life at pluslifemedia.com. Yeah.
All right. Thank you again so much, Gracie.
And a screen coming to you. Soon come.
Yes. See, we got her before she got too famous, y'all. So if you guys loved this episode, and I know you did, I want you to share it on Instagram, tag me, tag Gracie, tag at the Dani Faust, and tag at Madame Zhuzh, and we will share you out. Well, I will share you out, and I want to hear what she said that had the biggest impact on you, because I know something today had a big impact on you. All right. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening.
Love you, queens.